I forgot. Okay. All right. So we're looking at CADJPY, and the alligator mouth is wide open. The PSARs are far away from the candles. We see that the hour is in a buy. The 4 hour is also in a buy, as well as the daily also being in a buy. So we know that CADJPY is currently going in the direction of the market trend, which is a buy. And I've laid down some support and resistance lines. It has pushed through this support and resistance line, so it is heading towards this one. Now we know, looking at these across, there is another area that we could put a support and resistance line, because it has come up to at least here. You see that it's touched multiple times, and then it turned and went back down. So it's in a zone right now. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and pull up our MetaTrader 4 for the CADJPY. We're going to go ahead and get in the market. We're going to do a market execution. CADJPY, we are going to do a market execution. So we're going to come up here to where it says new order. We're going to click new order. And you want to make sure that your lot size is comparable to your balance. Okay, market execution, we're going in for a buy. Go ahead and select buy. Then we can go back and modify. So what you're looking at is you want your stop loss to be underneath either that second PSAR or that first PSAR. You need it to be underneath the PSAR. That is what the PSAR is for, so that you can tell where you want to place your stop loss. All right. Now, if you have the grid on your chart, you can see that this number right here is lining up under that third PSAR. Now watch what happens when I come over here to my price. I left click and I move it. Now I've got this grid line right up under that second PSAR, and I can look over and see what that price point is. So that is going to be my stop loss. So I'm going to come down here to my trade that's running. I'm going to double click it so that I can modify it. Now sometimes when it opens up, it may not be on modify order. It might be on market execution. You just have to make sure that you have it on modify, because if you're not careful, you can do another market execution. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to my stop loss box, and I'm going to put my number in that I'm looking at right here, 80145, and then I'm going to go ahead and set it. Okay, so my stop loss is set. Okay, stop loss is set. My trade is running. We're in profit. And this is something else that we're going to do as well, guys. If your stochastic on your MetaTrader 4 does not have highest point sale, overbought sale, oversold buy, lowest point buy, if yours is not set up like this, we are going to be setting up your MetaTrader 4 to make sure yours looks like this, because this is what we're looking for. Now, as we can see, yes, the stochastic is all the way up here over the 80. So we know at this point it's overbought. So they're going to be selling sometime soon. But that's okay, because that alligator mouth is wide open. Anytime you get into a trade, guys, understand you are going to experience pullback. That's okay. That's why we make sure that you're using proper risk management and that your account balance can hold and can handle the pullback that you experience in your trade. Now, as you can see, it was up under that second PSAR. There's another PSAR now. So what I can do is I can come to my stop loss, left click, move it up. So now it's once again under that second PSAR. Now we are in profit. We know that we can right click, make sure we right click on the stop loss, hover over that stop loss line, and when it shows you the stop loss information, so it's showing you how many pips it's down, how much money it's down if it hits the stop loss. When you hover over that, you right click and come down here to trailing stop loss. You can set your trailing stop loss. If we choose 15 points, that's going to equal 1.5 pips, which is really close. If you're, depending on how close you want to keep it, that is up to you. Okay? Or if you want to just let it ride out, you can do that as well. Also, you can, let's see, if you move this back down so you guys can see. And I'm going to take the grid back off, clean it up a little bit so you can see a little bit better. So here's the stop loss. The green line is where we got into the trade. The solid white line right here is where the price point actually is right now. So one thing that you can do is you can move the stop loss into profit if you wanted to. So guys, we're going to, let's see, how many pips are we looking for? Looking for at least 10. So let me take my crosshair. I'm going to lay it down where we got in. I'm going to left click and let's see. Go up. All right, so actually right there all the way up to the top is the 10 pips. So come back to the line again, down here to your trade that you got running. Double click, come to the take profit, and I'm going to put in this very top number right here, but then I'm going to move it up because it's not showing that exact number that I need it to be at. And that's the good thing about the MetaTrader 4 is you can put your stop loss and your take profit wherever you want it to be. Okay, so the take profit 80.315. I'm going to lay it down. As you can see, that is 6.3 pips. Let me adjust this over here so we can move it. So we can get our 10 pips. What is it here? Okay, 9.4. Okay, and that's 10.2. So that's a little over 10 pips. Right there. So that is where we will leave our take profit. Okay. All right, so that trade is running. It's in profit. Let's go back to trading view. Okay, and we can see that it's running up to this support and resistance line. Now, that number for the support and resistance line is 80.313. Let's compare to what we have in our MetaTrader 4. Okay. Our take profit is 354. So 80354. I'm looking at the last three. So ours is about right there, around in here. Right. I'm going to turn it green. And as you can see, that went to, I need to change that to 354 because that's where our take profit is. All right. So, you've got a couple of options. Okay. So you can see that it's at this support and resistance line, and it's got to push through to get to our take profit. But that alligator mouth is wide open. Understand you're going to experience some pullback before it gets to the take profit. Okay, so that's take profit 1. Let's see, like I said, everything has been in a strong buy. So we can do a take profit 2 to this next support and resistance line. Pull that back up. All right, now this time when we do new order, we are going to select pending order. Okay. Now, I want you guys to remember, let's see, here it is. Okay, well, there it is. Remember, when you're doing a pending order, okay, the buy stop is going to get to this certain point and then it's going to keep going. A sell stop is going to get to this number and it's going to keep going down. The buy stop is going to keep going up. Sell stop is going to keep going down. So we are looking at it to do a buy stop, go to a certain point and keep going up. All right. So since this green line is our take profit, we can do a pending order. Change my color and allow it to push on through, or this line right here can be where we get back in, and this will be our take profit 2. Let's see. Okay, so this green line is our take profit where we are now. Take profit 2 is going to be that next pending order line. So remember, we're at pending order. and we are doing a buy stop because it's going to go to a certain number and keep going. So our at price, we're going to use our take profit price from our previous trade. That's where we want it to start. 80.354. And our stop loss is going to be our previous stop loss. Remember, we're going to keep a check on it. 80.163. And then our take profit is this next support and resistance line up here. So let's put that in, 80.423. Go ahead and place our order. And it's sitting ready and waiting to be activated. So let's move this over so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to pull the numbers down so that you can see. All right. So this is going to be our take profit 1. Take profit 2 is right here. Okay, and we keep a check on the stop loss. It's still below our second PSAR. So remember, you want it to either be below the second PSAR or the first PSAR. So when you're looking at the candles, they're all the way over to the right. Alligator mouth is all the way open. That first candle that you see, that PSAR that's under it, is the first PSAR. That second candle, that PSAR, is the second PSAR. So do you guys see how to count the PSARs? 1, 2. It's up under that first candle, up under that second candle. So those PSARs line up with the candles. You want that PSAR for the stop loss to be right up under that second one. That second PSAR is where you're looking to place your stop loss. All right. Now, if I were to pull this back up again, you can see, remember, the stochastic tells the story. Okay, the stochastic says once upon a time. So whatever's happening in the stochastic, it's going to be what happens next. It's what's coming next for the candles. And if I were to make it even a little bigger, you can actually see it's still kind of, pointing up. But it's going to experience some pullback. Just make sure your account can handle the where you set it, your lot size. Make sure your lot size is comparable for risk management so that you can handle that. All right, so we're going to let it run. We've got our take profit 1, we've got our take profit 2, and let's take a look, see what else is out there. Let's go to GBP JPY. Okay, that one has actually gone into consolidation. So although the alligator mouth is still open and it's, this isn't something that you want to look into getting into when those candles are confused like that. All right, so when those candles are confused like that, you don't want to get in. But if you were already in the trade, because we get in when the green crosses the red. When the green crosses the red and you're in that trade already, you're just letting it ride out because that alligator mouth is still open. But once that green crosses the red back in the other direction, then that's when you want to get out. Okay? But when it's starting out like this, that's not something that you want to get into because the market is confused right now. It doesn't know which direction it wants to go in. So if the market is confused, we definitely don't want to get into confusion. So this will be one for your watch list. So remember, you should have paper and pencil to write down and keep track of your watch list. Because if we look at the market, what's going on, let me see. See, the 1 hour is in a strong buy. The 4 hour is also in a strong buy, as well as the daily. So if I pull it down, you can see that the daily is also in a strong buy. So the GBP USD, the trend of the market is a buy. So the direction that this alligator is going, it's in a buy. But right now, if we were able to catch it when it was down here, that would have been fine. But because the market is going into confusion right now, you want to wait, let it do whatever it's going to do, and then see if the setup is still okay for you to get into the market. Do your analysis, see if it's good. So if the alligator mouth is open, the PSRs are far from the candle, we ride the alligator. Okay? But do not get into this right now because those candles are confused. All right. So let's see what's going on with GBP NZD. All right. It is experiencing pullback right now. And the trend of the market is the 1 hour is buying. So is the 4 hour. And I'm going to pull it down so you can see that. So is the daily. All right. So this is another good one. You know, the trend of the market is in a buy. You can see that it has been in a buy for quite some time. The stochastic, it's up above the 80. It's up here. So it's actually making its turn, coming down for its pullback. So you can either wait until it finishes its pullback, and then you can get into the market. Let's see. And then you can get into the market after it finishes its pullback and it starts heading back in the direction of a buy. Then you can get back in. Now remember, with Forex, whether it's going down or it's going up, if it's going into a sell or if it's going into a buy, we can profit either direction. But the trend of the market is in a buy. So if it's going into a sale, if you see it going into a sale, you know that's pullback. So you want to wait, let it finish its pullback, then you can get into it for a buy. So this will be another good one to put on your watch list and see when it finishes doing what it's going to do, when it finishes its pullback, and then you can get into the market. Now, once you really get to understanding what you're, how to read the market, you'll be able to scalp. Now, that's not what I'm teaching you guys to do right now. Right now, I want you guys to understand the market, know when to get in the trade, when to get out of a trade, and when not to get in at all. Okay? So right now, this is a point where you don't want to get in right now because you're still learning. So once it finishes its pullback and it starts heading back into a buy, that's when you can get into the market for a buy. Now, we could certainly set up a pending order for this, okay? Because if you're looking, you can see that it has come up to at least here. The candles has come up to at least here. So if you were to do a pending order, you can set it to say, okay, once it comes to this support and resistance line and pushes through, it'll keep going up to this support and resistance line. But here's the thing with that. If you do that, okay, let's get our ruler. If you do that, let's lay it down. All right, that is 36.8 pips. Okay, so almost 37 pips. But look at this. If you continue to watch the market, keep a check on it, keep a watch on it. You see it's made its turn. When it gets ready to go back, okay, let's say for instance, it comes down to here, because it can very well come down to this support and resistance line. If it does that, and then you see it makes its turn to go back, then look, you know it's going to keep going, it's going to keep buying. Now you're looking at 93.4 pips. Okay, so this is what I talk about when I tell you guys, you know, wait for it to do its turnaround, and then you can get back in at that point, because you're going to gain more pips. But if you wait and do a pending order until you know it's going to get up here and then it's going to keep going, you'll still get some pips, you just won't get as many. So these are some of the things that you want to look at when you're getting into the market. Okay, and remember, the trend is your friend. Okay, so the trend of the market is in a buy. That's positive. Okay, so we know the overall trend of the market is a buy. We go with the trend. The trend is your friend. The trend is nice. The trend is good. All right, so this is the difference in setting up a pending order. It's safer because you don't have to worry about getting in pullback, but you also won't get as many pips. All right, so just keep a check, keep a watch. Now, this right here would be, you know, like I said, it can come down to this support and resistance line and then go back up. Guys, that's where, let's see. Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am, Miss Pat. I see your message. All right. That's where a buy limit would come into play, because a buy limit says it's going to keep going down. Once it reaches a certain point, it's going to turn around and go back up. So we don't really do those, not yet. For us, we can better see a buy stop and a sell stop. But once you guys get really, really good, you may see a buy limit. You may see, you know what? I can see the pattern. It's going to come down here and then it's going to go back up. Or you can see the pattern. It's going to come up here and then it's going to go back down. That's a sell limit. That's a pending order for a sell limit or a buy limit. But the two main ones that we do are buy stop and sell stop. All right, so let's look at USD CAD. And all right, USD CAD is still going for us. All right, so all right, so the 1 hour, you can see the green has crossed the red. It's going to be crossing the blue soon. into a sale. Okay. All right. 4 hour is selling. It's in a sale. And the daily, let me move this down so you guys can see that the daily is also in a sale. So remember, the trend is your friend. The trend of the market is in a sale. So this current pattern that it's in right now is in a sale. So we go to the 15-minute and we see that it is currently sitting at a support and resistance line. That alligator mouth is wide open. That green has crossed the red and the blue. Let's see. All right, so the green has crossed the red and the blue, and it's in a sale. It's sitting at a support and resistance line, but that alligator mouth looks really good. Now, although it's down here below the 20, it's still going down. You're going to experience pullback, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to get in USD CAD for a sale. Okay, go to MetaTrader 4 and okay, USD CAD is the one that we're looking for, that we're going to get into. So pull up USD CAD on your chart. We are going to do a market execution for a sale. All right, go to new order. Make sure your lot size is comparable for your account. I'm going to do a market execution and sell by market. Okay, remember, anytime you enter a trade, there is going to be pullback. You are going to enter a trade in the negative. So when you go into a trade and you see that it's in the negative, don't freak out. It's okay. All right, so we're in our trade. And when we look at trading view, where we have our support and resistance laid down, let's see, alligator mouth looks really good. So we are looking at this next support and resistance line for our take profit. Okay, now remember, these are going to kind of shift because that countdown is right here. Counting down to the next candle, we have 30 seconds until the next candle. Well, it moves these numbers because it's counting down. So this blue number that you see here is actually goes here with this support line where it's sitting. This next blue line is the support and resistance line down here. And that's where we're going to put our take profit. So we're going to pull up our MetaTrader 4. I'm going to move it over to the side. We are already in profit. I'm going to move it over to the side a little bit so you can see the numbers. I'm going to go to my line. I'm going to double click it so that I can modify my order. Now see what I said, sometimes it'll come up market execution. You want to be cognizant and aware of what type of trade you're getting into. So the type that we're looking for is modify order, because we're already in it. We just want to modify the trade that we just did. All right, so we're going to come over here and put our take profit number in as this, make sure, yeah, as this bottom blue number right here, 1.32868. And if you can see this blue line up here, you can see the two PSARs. So this support and resistance line is actually a good place for the stop loss. So since we can go ahead and see that number, we'll go ahead and put that in, 1.33137, and modify our order. Okay, so here we've got our take profit, which is going to get us 13.2 pips. And here is our stop loss, right at that second PSAR. Remember, here's our first candle, so here's our first PSAR. Here's our second candle. Here's our second PSAR. So it doesn't matter if it's going in a sell or a buy. You look at that first candle, that PSAR right underneath it or right above it. If it's a sell, the PSAR is going to be above the candle. If it is a buy, the PSAR is going to be below the candle. But you're looking at that candle, first candle, that's the first PSAR. Second candle, that's the second PSAR. And that's where you want to put your stop loss. All right. Okay, we're going to let them do what they do. Keep running. Okay, so both our trades are in profit right now. We're just going to let them keep running. Now, remember, guys, another thing is, because we ride the alligator, you actually, if you are going to sit there and monitor your trade, you can actually not set a take profit. You can just let it ride out, but you need to be paying attention. Although you don't have to set a take profit, you always, no matter what, set a stop loss. A stop loss will save you if something happens in the market and that trade spikes in the opposite direction. Your stop loss will take you out so that you don't lose so much money. And that's why you have proper risk management and make sure that your lot size is comparable to handle that pullback. So always set a stop loss, but if you're going to sit and monitor your trade, you can actually let it ride out and just ride the alligator. Okay, so let those two run. And let's see, USD CAD, like I said, that alligator mouth is wide open. Now, remember, we can see down here that it is below the lowest point. So we know that eventually it is going to go into pullback. We're just going to ride the wave and let it go through its pullback. All right. So if you have more than one trade in the same currency pair, your pip counter is going to be an average of the two trades in that current currency pair that's running. So for USD CAD right now, we are at 3 pips. Okay, jump to 4 pips. All right, it is rolling. Our other trade is CAD JPY. Here it is. All right, so CAD JPY is at 5.5 pips right now. And remember, we did add the candle countdown. So let me, okay, it's an indicator. Make sure we have our indicator. and oh, actually it's a downloaded. Where are my downloads? My downloaded indicator. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. All right. So I'm going to double click it. I'm going to say okay. And it's going to put my countdown for my next candle up on my screen. So I know I'm in the 15-minute time frame, and my next candle is going to come up in 8 minutes. All right. Let's see, with which one? USD CAD. All right, so we've got our take profit 2 for our CAD/JPY. We've got our USD CAD currently running. And actually, we can do a take profit 2 for the USD CAD. So let's go ahead and do that real quick while we got a little bit more time. All right, so our take profit 1 is this line right here, this support and resistance line. Take profit 2, we know that it can go down to at least here. All right, so this one is going to be our take profit 2. So we're going to do it real quick. And that's what happens when you try to do it one-handed real quick. All right, let me set my hot tea down. All right, I'm going to move it over so we can see. Okay, this is our take profit 1. This next blue line is going to be our take profit 2. Okay. So I'm going to select new order. I'm going to move it over so you can see. We're going to do a pending order. It's not going to be a market execution. This is a pending order. This one is a sales stop. We're going to say it's going to go to a certain point and keep going. And the price that we're going to get in is where our other take profit ends. So this one is going to start where this one ends, which is this right here. Okay, make sure you're looking at the right one. This is USD CAD. This is our take profit. So 1.32868 is our take profit. Is the take profit for our previous trade and the price that we're going to get into for our next trade. Stop loss is going to be the same as the previous stop loss. Just remember, you have to keep a check on it. 1.33137. That's our stop loss. Take profit, we're going to use that next support and resistance line. So that is 1.32745. And we'll place our order. Okay, so we've got 2 trades running and we have 2 pending orders. And so far everything is up in profit. So we're just going to let everything continue to do what it does. Let's see, we've got 5 minutes. So in those 5 minutes while our trades are doing what they do, you guys know what I like to do. Let's take a look, see what's going on with our US 30. Now, remember, the US 30 is comparable to the German 30. So whatever is going on in the US 30, more than likely it's also going on in the German 30. You guys can see, you can compare the two and see they're pretty much doing the same thing. Okay, so if you are interested in getting into the US 30, The US 30 has a standard lot size of 1. Okay? Has a standard lot size of 1. That's going to get you $10 per pip for that standard lot size of 1. Now, with the German 30, the German 30 is actually a little different. Although the standard lot size is still a 1, it's not $10 per pip. It's not as much. So you can actually get into the German 30 with a standard lot size of 1 and kind of play around and see what it would be like to trade in the US 30 without it being so much money. Does that make sense? That's got it. Okay. All right. So let's see. Come over here to the US 30 by itself. And I had laid down some support and resistance lines with the US 30. Let's see. And you can see it's getting ready to make its turn. That stochastic down there is turning into a sale. It is well above the 80. So we know get ready to sell. It's getting ready to sell. See, alligator mouth is wide open into a buy. The 1 hour, okay, the 1 hour, the green just crossed the red and the blue into a buy. So that's good for the 1 hour. The 4 hour, it is also in a very strong buy. And the daily is in a buy as well. Okay, so remember, the trend is in an overall buy. The trend is your friend. So we know that the US 30 is currently in a buy. So what we're seeing right here, we know it to be pullback because it's going to continue to go into a buy. If you were looking to get into the US 30, allow it, because the US 30, that pullback is really strong. Like I said, 1 pip is $10. So if you get into it and it starts pulling back, if your account cannot sustain that pullback, it's going to kick you out. And it may not kick you out at your stop loss. So when I say it needs to be comparable with your account, this is what you're looking at. If you are growing your account by 10%, what is your balance? How much do you have in your balance? So you guys can look and see. Let me move it. Okay. All right. Okay. So my account balance is a little over $4,000. Put that back down. All right. But pay attention to how much it is, though. Okay. I'm trying to show you guys something. Okay. So this is $4,000, but it's $4,222.76. That is not how much my account is. So that's not what I'm looking at. I'm going to the next line up, and you can see I've highlighted it. If I wanted to grow by 10%, I'm looking at a lot size of 0.36 or 0.48 or 3.49. Now, let me tell you about these right here. Okay, so thinking about that, these are the number of trades that you will be getting into. So if you get into if you get into 10 trades for the day, and you don't try to do no more than 10 trades. So you're looking at the take profit, the total pips of 10. Then you're looking at 3.49 for your lot size. And you're only looking at getting 10 pips. That's it. Those 10 pips is going to get you your profit goal for the day, which is $348.99 when you're trying to grow your account by 10%. That is what you're looking at to get for the day. Okay, so your total pips is 10. Now that's a lot size. That's a large lot size. Okay, we're running out of time. Showing you guys something real quick. Okay. So, total pips, 98. With 98 pips, it's going to use a lot size of 0.36, which is much easier to maintain and handle should your trade start going in the opposite direction. But that's if this is what's in your account balance. Okay? If your account balance is less than $300 and you're looking at getting a total pips of 98, total 98 pips, if you're less than $300, then your lot size should be 0.03. So guys, this is where this chart comes into play, where you start looking at this information and see how important it is. Because if your account balance is $200 or $300 and you're using a lot size of something for $3,000, 0.36, your account cannot sustain the amount that pullback is going to provide. It's going to be a lot. So guys, be careful with your trading. Be careful with your lot size. You can do this. You guys got it. You are master traders, and with every trade, your balance grows. Mr. Kimbrough, would you like to close us out, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that wonderful training this morning.
Mike,
Great training.
your mic.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry about that. Uh, Thank you, Miss Benita, for your for this wonderful training this morning. Y'all. I hope y'all got the nuggets that you needed from this training today. You are already a master trader. If you don't believe it, start believing it. Um, go out there today and trade like some superstars. That's all I really have for the day. Your day is great. So you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be right here with these billionaire bosses. Have a wonderful day.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. That is going to end our